Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship preview and predictions for round number 36. After this one is played, we have 10 games to go, and we are well and truly into the business end of the season. Big hello to everybody watching live here at 1 p.m. on a Friday. Apologies, it's been a tough week here. I've not been very well. I'm back today. I would have been here last night, but it just wasn't going to happen. So there we go. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here at lunchtime on Friday. And apologies to those people who would have preferred this to be last night. It wasn't going to happen. We'll say some hellos in the chat. Do make sure you can hit that like button for me. See if we can get up to 100 likes during the show. 11 already. Tremendous stuff. So thank you, everybody, for hitting the like button. Let's say some hellos and then we'll get into some action. Serpents, welcome. JC, welcome. Looks very smart in his suit, doesn't he? Catherine, Dale, Peter, Harry, Daniel, David, Stephen, HS, Lenny, Daryl, Dave, Colm. I'm okay. I'm feeling better now. I don't think the missus is feeling great, though. But what are you going to do, hey? We're finally passing around germs, everybody, together, aren't they? Terence, welcome. Wayne. Peter, Mr. E, thank you, everybody. George and Edward as well. Thank you, everybody. Wishing me that I'm feeling better. I'm okay. I'm here. We're all good. So thank you for your kind thoughts there. Thank you also to Betfair and Football 365. Football 365 is the home of all my championship writing, and you can find the big weekend preview. We've done the stat pack looking at the new manager bounce. You know me, I love to talk about that. You can also find the fabled predictor game. Head over there, football365.com. Sign up with your email. It's completely free. Get on that leaderboard. Put your money where your mouth is. We don't have any money there anyway, but you know what I'm saying, don't you? Thank you also to Betfair. We'll give you the odds for each of the predictions I'm about to make. Of course, please gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford. BeGambleAware.org. 18 plus only. And finally, before we get into this, a big thank you to our friends, the Donovan brothers, who are sponsoring the preview show for our second season running over on Patreon. Patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom over there. They sponsor in memory of their dad, Dennis, and brother, Mike. Both sorely missed cheering on Millwall from above. Great stuff from the Donovans. Speaking of Patreon, the Discord group is very, very good fun, actually. Let me just bring it up so you can see. We've got our own private Discord group for Patreon members. That started up recently. You can see all of the fun shenanigans and nice chit-chattering going on there. So another reason to sign up to Patreon and support the channel. Let's just say a few more hellos here. Simon, always good to have a meal. Alistair, hanging out me arse. Very nice too. You need some of this, Alistair. Some H2O, that will help out. Welcome, Napper's mum, Hal. Loves my Noel Edmonds jumper. You love to see it. Damien, welcome. And thank you to the kind words, everybody. Mike, welcome. Watched Fulham with Mike the other day. Mark showing off from the sunny south coast there. Right. Let's get into this. The running order is ticking along the bottom. We've got 23 likes. Hit the like button. See if you can head us up towards 50, 75, 100. And we are about to get into it with game number one. We just mentioned Fulham. Fulham versus Blackburn. Get your predictions in, guys. Fulham draw Blackburn. Fulham draw Blackburn. This is a very interesting championship weekend. This is first versus fourth. We've also got 6th versus 8th, which won't actually be 6th versus 8th when we get to it on Saturday, and 7th versus 9th. A few rubbing chin moments here. But first of all, get your predictions in. Fulham draw or Blackburn. Fulham. Is it a bit of a procession now towards the title? They're 9 points clear of second place. They are 11 points clear of third place, which is the key number. They've got 2 games in hand on Huddersfield as well. Blackburn had a bit of a bounce back win. How viable was that win, though? It was Kadra's free kick that kind of swung in and Marshall lost it in the air for QPR. So I don't know. Have Blackburn bounced back? Rovers fans will tell me in the chat. Get your predictions in. Fulham draw Millwall. Fulham draw Blackburn. Fulham draw Blackburn. I've got Millwall on the brain. Let me give you some numbers. As you can imagine, Fulham are pretty much top of all our rankings now. 8-game form top, XG top, best home record in the league, best goals scored record in the league, top of the table, and second best goals conceded. So it's looking like Fulham are going to be top of 90% of the stuff we analyse here by the time the season ends. What I will say about Blackburn, though, they're in the top 6 for actually being in the table. They're 4th, and for goals scored and goals against. So they're a good side, Blackburn. They're not as good as Fulham, though, are they? Nobody is this season. Let's get some predictions in here. Where are we going to start? Afternoon Noel. There you go. There he is. Annoying everybody. Right, here we go. Fulham home. Fulham. Blackburn, really? Fulham 0-0. Fulham. Draw Fulham. We've got a couple of Blackburns in. I'll email me afterwards. I'll take your bet on that one, guys. Fulham. An edgy 1-0. Draw Joker on Blackburn. Fulham's ridiculous goal scoring seems to have dropped. Not as badly as Blackburn's has, though, hasn't it? Early kickoffs never suit Fulham. Head says 1-1. Heart says 2-0. Okay, a few people think Blackburn can do this. I personally don't, but that's the beauty of the prediction show. All opinions are welcome and all opinions are valid. But I think I'm about to put my hand here and yell out a 4-letter word beginning with H that goes home. I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Fulham in this one. I don't see, at this stage now, with the muscle memory, Fulham using rotation very, very nicely. I don't see Blackburn being able to lay a glove on them. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. You will get... I didn't write the odds down. They're over in the article. If I click a couple of buttons, 1 second, do bear with me. Apologies for this, but unfortunately, the odds are not appearing up on the screen, but I do have a note of them everywhere. There we go. 11-2 over at betfair.com. Please gamble responsibly. Let's talk about Preston versus Bournemouth. Predictions in. Preston, draw. Bournemouth. Preston, draw. Or Bournemouth. And do I smell a bogey team here? Get your predictions in. Preston do very nicely against Bournemouth. Thank you very much. Can they get the win? Give us a like button. 32 likes. Give me a like for bogey teams. You guys always point them out. And Preston are very much a bogey team for Bournemouth, despite Bournemouth's seeming superiority in most other metrics that we can measure on this one. Bournemouth have won 4 on the trot, and we now know if they can just perform sort of reasonably, if they can perform like a top 6 team for the rest of the season, they will get second place by virtue of that lead that they've already got and their games in hand. They've got to keep churning it out, though, Bournemouth. And Preston has been a difficult opponent for them. Preston aren't winning many at the moment, but they also aren't losing many either. Lots of draws in there. Get your predictions in. Cherries draw, North End. Preston draw, Bournemouth. And we do have a bogey team in the house here, I think. So, look, Bournemouth, very much like Fulham, are in the top 6 for everything. 8-game form, XG, homes and aways, goals for and against. Preston are not really in the top half for much. They're in the top half of the 8-game form table and the league table. Everything else, 14, 18, 17, 14. Everything else, they're a bottom half side, but they may be paying the price for earlier in the season. Definitely improved under Ryan Lowe. And do we have that bogey team angle? Let's have a look and see what you lot are saying in the chat. Where are we going to dive in here? I don't know where we're starting. I'll go with Kai. We'll go with Kai's 1-1 there. We'll assume that's the start point. Right, what have we got here? Preston, Bournemouth, draw. Tiny Spock, I want to see your entire list because I think the odds are going to be about 1 billion to 1 from what you're going to go with. One of these guys that goes with all the outsiders, I think, but which is allowed. Bournemouth, Preston, Joker, bogey team alert, everybody on this one. A draw for Kate, Bournemouth, Preston, draw, Bournemouth, draw, Cherries, Preston, Bournemouth, I think we're getting all these. I'm going to click on as many of these as possible. There we go. And I am going to go for the bogey team angle. I'm not going to go all in. So I'm going to go somewhere down the middle on this. And I am going to agree with quite a few of you on outcome and scoreline. Let's yell out that word, draw. Does the bogey team have enough to get a point? I think they do. So let's go for a 1-1er in this one, which would hot things up at the top of the table, albeit temporarily, possibly, although I've already predicted Blackburn are going to lose. Preston 1, Bournemouth 1. You will get only 5-1 out of Betfair for that, but 1-1s are always fairly sure odds, aren't they? Please gamble responsibly if you are going to make that your Saturday tipple. And hit that like button. We're at 38. See if you can get us up to 50-5-0 for the likes. Let's talk about Huddersfield. That's been a very predictable thing we've been doing the last few weeks, talking about Huddersfield. Get your predictions in. Huddersfield draw, Peterborough. Huddersfield draw or Peterborough. Huddersfield are unstoppable at the moment, aren't they? 17 games undefeated in all comps for Huddersfield. And I hate to say it, Peterborough fans will even agree with me. Peterborough are rubbish at the moment, aren't they? They're on a terrible, I think, I may be wrong. One win in 19 in the Championship, possibly. Something crazy like that. Their poor run of only one win is nearly the same length as Huddersfield's in all competitions there. Look, we've been back in Huddersfield pretty much every week now recently, and it's been working, hasn't it? Huddersfield 3 wins on the bounce, 17 undefeated. Up to third in the table. Remember on the Super Stream last week, there was a point where Huddersfield was second. But Bournemouth have come back to win twice in their past couple of games, haven't they? Get your predictions in. Look, as you can imagine, I've got a lot of blue on Huddersfield and a lot of red on Peterborough here. Huddersfield in the top 6 for 8-game form, goals scored, and they're third in the table, and they're just not losing at the moment. Peterborough, oh, it's horrible. Peterborough are like, if you transpose Fulham, basically, they are bottom for form, XG, away record, goals scored. Their only one they're not bottom of is goals conceded. I think Reading conceded more. Is that right? I can't remember. And they're also bottom of the table. So you essentially have a very informed team in Huddersfield against a team that's massively out of form. New manager bounce anybody? Or did we lose that for Grant McCann last week? Let's dive in here. Where are we landing? We'll start there with Wayne, Huddersfield, home, Huddersfield, home, Huddersfield. I'm just going to click on these. It's unanimously behind Huddersfield here. They're in such decent form, haven't they? Look, I'm going to go heavy on Huddersfield because it's been working for me every week. It didn't work backing against them for the longest time, so I'm well aboard the Huddersfield train. I'm going to yell out home, and I'm going to go all in. I'm going to go 3-0, and Peterborough's away record is so poor. We notice it less now because their home record's kind of sucking a little bit as well, isn't it? So there you go. Huddersfield 3, Peterborough 0, and I think, do you get 10-1 on that? Yes, exactly. 10-1 from Betfair. So it's not even that big a value for the big Peterborough win. Do get involved in that one. Please gamble responsibly. Please hit the like button. We are, how many games in now? We've done 3 and we've got 41 likes, nearly up to 50. Let's get in here now and talk about QPR versus Cardiff. Get your predictions in. QPR draw, Cardiff. Ours, draw. Bluebirds, Rangers, draw. Cardiff, get your predictions in. QPR haven't been very good lately, have they? That one win against Blackpool, but hardly the most viable, repeatable, going down to 10, then winning in the 89th minute with a Luke Amos goal. They lost that tight, important game up at Blackburn, didn't they? They really need to get things moving again to Rangers because there are several teams, 4 or 5, that we can talk about who are below QPR and in better form, which is concerning, considering QPR have been good for the most part of this season. Cardiff, and this is terminology that if you've watched the channel for a long time, you'll be very familiar with. If you're new, you're going to hear me talking about the beach a fair bit now as we go into the last 10 games. I wonder if Cardiff, I think someone said a couple of weeks ago, Cardiff were already on the beach. I wonder whether Cardiff might be relaxing up now. They're 16 points clear of the relegation zone. And they did get a useful win, didn't they, in midweek against Derby County. Get your predictions in. QPR draw Cardiff. As you can imagine, the only top 6 stats, QPR fourth best home team in the division, and third best goal scoring record, 5th in the table. Cardiff still are in the bottom 5 for goals, most goals conceded. So we do have a disparity between the two teams across the season, but recent form, I mean, look, let me give you a points total quickly. Cardiff 7 points in their last 5, QPR 4 in the last 5. So recent form is with Cardiff. Yeah, Cardiff 9th in the 8th game form table and QPR 14th. Will form be temporary and class be permanent and QPR get the win back here? Get your predictions in via the chat. What are we saying here? Right, Rangers, Desmond. Is that our first one today? No one's called the Desmond yet. There he is, the legendary, the late, great Archbishop Tutu there. He always gets a mention, doesn't he? Right, where are we landing here? Cardiff, Rangers. 12 to play. We need to win at least 6, maybe 7. Absolutely. Draw. Rangers. Home. Rangers. Some tutus coming in here. We fancy QPR are always good for some goals, aren't they? You have to say. Rangers, draw. A few in for Cardiff then. There is no such thing as a team on the beach that's not a danger. Sometimes a relaxed team can win games that you don't imagine that they would otherwise. Let's go for my prediction. I do think that this is the QPR bounce back game, I have to say. So I'm going to go for Rangers and I'm going to yell out home. I don't think there'll be all that much in it. So I'm going for a 2-1 out here for QPR. I just feel on the road, Cardiff are probably going to go under in this one and Rangers are going to get the win. 2-1. What odds will you get over at betfair.com for that one? 15-2. A little bit of value there. I think a 2-1 for QPR. We are moving on, but please do hit that like button. 46 likes. See if you can get us over 50 likes whilst the stream is live. Really helps it reach as many people as possible. And we're going to talk about, we got 2 big games now on the edges of the playoffs. We have got, first of all, 6th place Luton and 8th place Middlesbrough, who will not be 6th and 8th by the time it gets to Saturday because 7th and 9th are playing each other as well. There will be a change in position for one of these two teams. So look, let's start with Middlesbrough versus Luton. Good luck calling this one is all I'll say. Middlesbrough draw Luton. Both sides in good form. Both sides in the FA Cup. Middlesbrough beat Spurs in extra time. Luton took Chelsea close. Did manage to rest a few players as well, didn't they? I think Luton have won something ludicrous like 9 in 13. But Middlesbrough have won 8 games in a row. 8 at the Riverside in all competitions. We are very much in irresistible force and immovable object. We were talking about the Middlesbrough defence up until a few weeks ago. That's become a little bit more porous, which might help Luton. You would imagine the perfect way Luton will want this to go is Middlesbrough get forward, Luton absorb and hit on transition like they're very good at and win 1-0 like they did a lot last year away from home. Can Luton shut Middlesbrough out? I don't know whether they can with Isaiah Jones, Tavernier in good form. They've got options up top, even maybe, though, they're not firing those strikers for Borough. Fascinating game. Going to be brilliant on Saturday. Get your predictions in. Middlesbrough draw or Luton. Lots of noteworthy stats. Luton 2nd in the 8-game form table. In the XG, Middlesbrough 3rd, Luton 6th. Home table, Middlesbrough 3rd. Luton 6th in terms of, or in the top 6 in terms of goals scored, and in the table, 2 places difference. Wow. where you lot going with this one then. Good luck calling this one. It's going to be a cracker, we hope. Where shall we land here? Right, here we go. Borough in the last minute, yeah. Luton, away, draw, 0-0. I've just given it the big build-up, Matt. Can you hit like twice? I hope so. Heart says Luton, Head says draw. Always go with the heart, Kate. Great midweek performance. 2-0 Hatters. Borough, Luton, draw. Borough, draw, home advantage, 8 wins on the trot. Could it tell? High scoring draw. Borough, consistent at home. There we go. Let's click on as many of these as possible. Apologies if it doesn't get read out. I will be here all day. The support is so great down here in the chat. Unhelpful draw. Hey, it might be both helpful and unhelpful, mightn't it? If that's entirely possible. I am going to do what I like to do on occasions like this, where I like both teams. I respect both teams. I think they're both going to get on the score sheet. There he is. We haven't used him today. Draw. I'm going to go for a Desmond. It's very unlikely that it will be, but I can't call this game. I really, really can't pick a winner. I'd probably have Borough slight favourites, but it's been foolhardy. I'd had that big defeat against Birmingham, didn't they? But 9 wins in 13 for Luton. It's been foolhardy picking against them. I'll go for a Desmond then, and you're going to get a big price on that one, guys. 14-1. How about that? Hit the like button for a 14-1. Are we over 50? Yes, we are. 55 likes. Please gamble responsibly if you are going to take me up on that slightly outrageous Desmond call there, but we will see how that one goes. Middlesbrough 2, Luton 2 is my prediction. And here is the other big game, which is tonight. Sheffield United versus Nottingham Forest, who, as I said, will start the day 7th and 9th. Sheffield United know that a draw, I believe, looking at the goal difference, will take them above Luton. Forest know that a win will take them above Luton, and a draw will take them above Middlesbrough. So pretty much every result means someone's changing places before that Borough-Luton game tomorrow, doesn't it? Get your predictions in. Hard one to call this. Blades, draw, Forest. Sheffield United, draw, Nottingham Forest. And I mean, we can say a lot of similar things about these two teams in respects of poor starts to the season. Not much margin for error, but both in really nice form for a long time. But when you have those bad starts, you cannot. Look at QPR and Blackburn. QPR and Blackburn put themselves in a position where they can go 4 or 5 with only 1 victory or whatever. Forest and Middlesbrough do not have that. Sorry, Forest and Blades do not have that luxury at the moment, do they? And that's why QPR and Blackburn find themselves 4th and 5th, and Sheffield United and Forest are 7th and 9th. But games in hand and momentum do appear to be with these two teams, don't they? Get your predictions in. Blades going to be without Brewster, Bogle, Basham, all the Bs there. Forest with B for Brennan Johnson in fantastic form as well. And lots of good stats to write home about here. Both sides in the top 6 of the current form table. Sheffield United in the top 6 in the XG. Forest, 4th best away team across the season. And interestingly, both sides just outside the top 6 for goals scored, but both sides very much in the top 6 for goals, fewest goals conceded. Will we get a low scorer? My brain is telling me Middlesbrough, Luton, goals, Blades, Forest, tight. I don't know. I've been wrong before. Let's see how wrong you lot are going to be. Let's get in the predictions for this one. Get your predictions in. Blades, draw, or Forest. Here we go. Right. Blades. Draw, Forest. Away, Forest. Blades. Draw, Blades. Draw, Forest. Home, Forest. Blades. Draw, Forest. A high scorer, Mike. That'd be very championship, wouldn't it? 0-0, Blades, Forest. Let's click on as many of these as we possibly can. There we go. I think I've got them all done. even with the injuries, for some reason, and I think I'm in a hunch territory here rather than anything that the metrics are showing me, I think it's going to be a home win. And I don't think there's going to be many goals. So I'm going to hit the home button. Home! And go for 1-0 Blades, I think. Can they shut out Brennan Johnson and Phil Zinkernagel and Keenan Davis up the top? If they can, there's something there for them, isn't it? I'm stating the bleeding obvious, but you know what I mean, don't you? Where is it on my chart? There we go. Sheffield United 1, Nottingham Forest 0 will be my prediction for tonight's game. And over at betfair.com, 5-1, nice and short on the 1-0s. The 1-1s and the 0-1s, you'll always get short odds there. So do go and get involved. Please gamble responsibly, of course. So just to reiterate, I've got Fulham winning. I've got Bournemouth dropping points and Huddersfield winning. So I've got Huddersfield and Bournemouth tied up on 62. I've got QPR winning. I've got Middlesbrough and Luton drawing and Sheffield United winning. So basically, I've got Sheffield United in the top 6 at the end of the round. Put it that way. I've got QPR winning. That might be tight there for Blackburn. Oh, God. Hey, fool's errand trying to predict the points, let alone the scores. Let's move on. Swansea versus Coventry. Predictions, please. Swans, draw, Cov. Swans, draw, Coventry. Get your thoughts in on this one. Please hit that like button as well. We are up to 60. Let's see if we can get up to 75 likes during the course of this stream. Coventry have gone again, haven't they? They were up in 4th place for a lot of autumn, weren't they? Mainly based on that ludicrously good home record and a few nice late wins. They're winning late again, but they have picked up a little bit away from home now. It's less of a disparity now for Coventry. Swansea are very spotty, aren't they? Win, lose, win, lose, win, lose at the moment, which will move them up the table towards the middle, but not much further. And obviously a consistency issue perhaps there. If this game was at Coventry, I think I'd be all in on Cov. But I don't know. It's a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons over at Swansea. Although their last result, Swans, was a good away win over at struggling West Brom. They did win the last home game against Bristol City. And prior to that, they also beat Blackburn. That sounds like, have I got that right? It sounds like 2 home wins on the bounce. So I'm doing that on the fly. I didn't have that stat written down, so maybe wrong. Get your predictions in then. Swansea draw, Cov, Swansea draw or Coventry. No top 6 statistics for either team, but 2 bottom 6 statistics for Swansea. They're 19th in the XG table and they're 20th in the goal scoring table. So chance creation a problem? Is that something Coventry can exploit and win late on again? I wonder. Let's get your predictions. Swansea, draw, or Coventry. Where shall we land on this one? We are going to start here with Colm, who's playing his 0-0. By the way, I'm breaking my own rules today. I'm not playing a 0-0 this weekend. I'm too giddy with excitement. Draw, Cov, Swans, Cov, draw, away, Cov, last minute, Cov, draw, Cov, 0-0, draw, Cov. A few people playing their 0-0 on this one. Let's click on all of these down here. Apologies if it doesn't get read out. I can't separate these two. I would be back in Coventry if it was at the CBS, but I'm going to go down the middle with it being at the Liberty. I think there was a Coventry fan saying they don't tend to do well there. So I will hit the draw button. So does that mean Coventry will score an equaliser late on? Or I don't know how that one will play out. I've gone for a 1-1 there. Let's bung it up over on the Football 365 predictor. There it is. Bosch would help if I clicked on that so you could see it. Swansea 1, Coventry 1. What are we going to get from Betfair for that? Only a 5-1. All very, very predictable with the 1-1s, isn't it? We are going to move on to Reading versus Millwall. Give me a Mill. No, actually don't, because then I'll think there was loads of Millwall predictions. Just predict who you think's going to win. That's how this show works. I shouldn't change the format now. Reading, draw or Millwall. Reading, draw or Millwall. Hit the like button. We're up to 64 likes. See if you can get us up to 75 likes during the show. Indeed. Yeah, I was all on the John Swift, Lucas João train, but then they lost 4-1 to Blackpool. And now they're playing Millwall. And Millwall have won 4 on the trot, and they are moving quite nicely up towards those playoff positions. A lot of traffic ahead. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting Millwall are all of a sudden going to be in that playoff chase, but they're closing in, and I think this is a winnable game for Millwall. Easier said than done, though. All they have to do is stop Swift and João, don't they? And Millwall do have a good defence. Can they do it? Can they get the 5th straight win, or will we be back to Reading's attackers pushing them up and away from the relegation zone? In terms of stats to write home about, there's a lot of bottom 6 stuff for Reading. They're in the bottom 6 for 8-game form, XG, home record, goals conceded, they're bottom, and 21st in the table. Millwall have got 2 stats, not quite top 6, but they're 7th in the form table over 8 games, and they are 7th in terms of goals conceded. It seems a simple equation. If Millwall's defence turns up, it's Millwall. If Reading's attack turns up, it's Reading. Which way do you see this one going? Reading, draw, or Millwall? Where should we land on this one? Let's land here. Millwall, draw, Millwall. Spock's now up to 7 million to 1 and 57 goals in his first few predictions here. Draw, Reading. Rowett never won 5 games in a row. Interesting. Millwall. Desmond. Millwall conceding 2, maybe. Millwall. Reading 2-1 is as Millwall as it gets. Millwall. No comment. That's not how this works, Mr. E. Come on. Right, let's click on all of these. And I'm not going to press my mill button, but I should do. Away! I don't know why. I just have a funny feeling that they'll get the shutout. If they get the clean sheet, they'll score. You know they will. That's the Rowett way, isn't it? Can they shut out João and Swift? I think they can. 1-0 Millwall. Let's go for it. Millwall for the away win in this one, which would really spice things up at the bottom, particularly when we're going to talk about Darby v Barnsley in a little bit. 7-1. So a bit of value there as well. I'm sure I've been a couple of times to Reading and seen Millwall play, and they've won a couple of times in recent seasons as well. On we go. Hull v West Brom. Get your predictions in. Hull, draw, or West Brom in this one. Hit the like button. We're up to 69 likes. See if you can get us up to 75. Look, obviously there's a lot of eyes on Steve Bruce, but we do need to point out that the last 8 games before Bruce took over was 1 win in 8 for West Brom in all comps. So, I mean, that was at home to Peterborough as well, wasn't it? So the rut had already set in. What I do have to concede is that Brucey isn't doing much to stop that rut at the moment. Can he get the win down at Hull, who are a bit odd under Shota Arveladze, aren't they? They had that streak with Grant McCann in these last few games, and had a couple of good performances under Arveladze and a few quite abject performances. They battered Peterborough last week, but at the moment, that is nicest guy in jail territory, isn't it? It's not the stick to measure anyone or beat anybody with, is it? Get your predictions in. Hull, draw, or West Brom. West Brom, such a strange statistical combination. Listen to this. 23rd in the form table, 2nd in the XG difference, and we've talked about that a hell of a lot in terms of them creating chances, not taking them. 19th in terms of goals scored. That parlays into the XG conversation. But then 3rd best in the defensive rankings. What a mess. What an absolute weird hodgepodge of nonsense that West Brom is at the moment. How confusing. Hull are less confusing. They're not very good, but they're not one of the 3 or 4 worst sides in the division. I think we'd all agree. They are, however, 22nd in terms of home form, 22nd in terms of goals scored, 19th in the table. Can Brucey get his first win? Get your predictions in. Hull, draw, West Brom, Hull, draw, or West Brom. What are we going to do in the chat here? Let's start here. There's the nil-niller. I should have known, shouldn't I? Draw, Albin, Jack, Hull, Wayne, Hull, Terence, Hull. Hull to put the photo. Brucey out already? Deary me. West Brom, Hull, 0-0, Yawn, home. Loads of nil-nils here. Brucey is as bouncy as a snooker ball. Someone put that on a t-shirt. Tremendous stuff. Hull. Only just noticed my Noel Edmonds top. Here's my Noel Edmonds top, everybody. I got it for Christmas. Unbelievable scenes. Gets a lot of reactions, put it that way. Let's click on as many of these as possible. Sorry if it doesn't get read out. If Bruce doesn't get a win here, well, remember, it needs to win one game in the first 8 to match Big Val's last 8. Guys, I'm on it. I'm all over it. You know me and Brucey. Away! I think this is going to be the first win. Surely. It's got to come sooner rather than later, hasn't it? Or he is going to be the worst managerial hire in the history of the Championship. I think the Baggies win this one. I've seen Hull put in a couple of abject performances under Arveladze so far. So I'm going to go for West Brom to win this one 2-0. Do I need to play the Joker for that one? Let's play it anyway. There we go. I'm playing my Joker. Out it comes. West Brom to win 2-0 over at Hull, being their 23rd in the form table, 8-game form table. What odds are you going to get from Betfair on that, you lot? You are going to get 8-1. Pretty good. I don't know. You tell me. West Brom are a hard ask at the moment to predict. 74 likes. Unbelievable. Hit the like button. See if you can get us up to 75. And then we are heading towards the magical 100, which always tends to come towards the end of the stream, doesn't it? You make me work for the likes. Stoke versus Blackpool. Get your predictions in, guys. Stoke, draw. Blackpool, Potters, draw or pull. Get your predictions in for this one. Are Stoke doing that thing again? You know, that thing where at the end of the season they go from somewhere up here to somewhere down here and have a very poor finish. Stoke are 15th in the table, 2 points from the last 4 games. I confidently predicted a Stoke trend up, I don't know, 4-6 weeks ago. Has not happened, has it? Not been good at all for Stoke. Meanwhile, Blackpool are pretty good, aren't they? Josh Bowler's in tremendous form. Medine and Lavery are combining well up top as well. This could be not an easy afternoon for Stoke. On paper, yeah, Stoke all day long, isn't it? But it's been Stoke all day long since they got relegated down to the Championship, hasn't it? And they have just not done it. Also, where would a defeat leave Michael O'Neill here? I can see a little bit of a gap there down to Swansea below them. We've got Swansea drawing, so we don't see them dropping a place, even if they do lose. But it's not good, is it? Not good at all. Pretty bad, in the words of Larry David. Get your predictions in. No, he never says that, does he? Stoke draw, Blackpool. Stoke draw or Blackpool. Numbers to write home about? Nothing really, other than Stoke are in the bottom 4 for 8-game form. They're 21st in the form table. Not good. Everything else is fairly middling. Stoke's XG difference is quite good. 8th as opposed to 17th. Not a lot in it other than that. And maybe the current form would have you edging towards Blackpool. I don't know. Let's see what you think in the comments. Where are we going to land here? There we go. Draw. Pull. Desmond. Draw. Pull. Pull. Stoke. Stoke. Get that 0-0 out. You love to see it. Actually, where's the picture? We haven't put it up yet, have we? There it is. If you're playing your 0-0s today. Jimmy's not. He's gone for pull. Blackpool 0-0. If Bruce don't win, put him in the gunge tank at Crinkly Bottom. Absolutely. Blackpool draw. Stoke pull. Stoke draw. Abici draw. Draw. Yeah, we're down the middle on this. Bowler quality will prove decisive. Get the old beach emojis out as well between now and the end of the season. I'm feeling cantankerous today. And I do like a cat amongst the pigeons, so I'm going to go away. What am I doing? In fact, it doesn't even require the Joker. Blackpool are 1 place above and 1 point above Stoke in the table. I'm going to go for a 2-1. to Blackpool. I think with the 4-4-2 and with Bowler in the good form, I don't know. Can they do something? I think they might be able to. Let's go for it. An away win there. You're probably going to get quite a good price over at betfair.com. Let's find out, shall we? 12-1 on Blackpool to win 2-1 over at Stoke. Can you see it? Really? Really? I don't know. Right, 2 to go. Please gamble responsibly, of course. Be gamble aware. .org 18 plus only bet what you can afford. Bristol City versus Birmingham. Get your predictions in. Robins, draw, Blues, Bristol City, draw, or Birmingham. Hit that like button. We are up to 82 on the likes. Bristol City versus Birmingham. So I was going all in on Bristol City scoring loads of goals the past few weeks. They did get shut out by Forest last time. Birmingham haven't had any defenders for about 3 weeks, but we think they're going to be able to cobble something a little bit better together this weekend. There's lots of red on my notes here. Bristol City in the bottom 6 in terms of 8-game form, XG, and goals conceded. Birmingham in the bottom 6 in terms of 8-game form, away form, goals conceded, and obviously the league table there in the bottom 6. So it doesn't really play well for either side. Bristol City are a bit more chaotic and unpredictable than Birmingham. I think you know a little bit more what you're going to get, but I don't know. Flip of a coin, this one for me. Maybe home advantage helps Bristol City in this one. I don't know. What are you saying? Bristol City draw or Birmingham? Bristol City draw or a Birmingham? Let's get some predictions in here. Let's land here. Blues should finally have a centre-back. There we go. 2-1 Blues, 2-1 Bristol City, 2-1 Bristol City, 2-1 Birmingham, 0-0. Bristol City to win the Beach Ball Derby. Draw, Bristol City. A goal fest. Is Taylor injured? Yeah, that won't do, will it? Jukovic came back, didn't he? Bristol City. This week's high scorer. What's Dale been drinking? He loves it. Predicting this game is like trying to herd Amber Solaire at the ready. We're heading for the beach. Oh, let's click on as many of these as possible. Apologies if it doesn't get read out. Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Bristol City won 3-0. I wouldn't be surprised if Birmingham won 3-0. So I'll go for a draw. Draw! Look, Bristol City always score. I think Birmingham have got enough in them. Let's go for a low-scoring draw then. Let's go for a 1-1er on this one. I can't call it. I'm going to pull that one out of my backside. There's probably going to be a decisive result, isn't there? And I'm just not finding it, basically. 1-1 between Bristol City and Birmingham would, if you were to bet the princely sum of £1 over Betfair on that outcome, you would win the princely sum of £5. So not a great deal of value as ever in a 1-1, but a difficult one. A great deal of value in me predicting it when I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. Finally, and I'm very interested to know your thoughts on this one, because you can very much argue this one either way as well. Derby versus Barnsley. Derby, draw, Barnsley. Derby, draw, Barnsley. And there's lots of conflicting information here. Derby are not very good away from home, but they are good at home. And they do tend to beat the teams lower down, or at least score points against the teams lower down the table at home. Derby don't score many goals, but they have Tom Lawrence back from suspension. Barnsley have been rubbish for 90% of the season. Awful, dreadful, but they've won 3 games in the last 4. And Bassi, Morris, Keener up top seem to be doing things. Have they turned the corner? I don't know. Nice little streak for Barnsley. If you look at points per game, Derby are a lot better than Barnsley. Well, obviously, we're factoring in then a 21 points deduction for Derby. If you look at form, Barnsley are much better than Derby. I don't know. Are you going to go with the moment, in which case you're probably going to be back in Barnsley? Are you going to go with the bigger picture, in which case you're probably back in Derby? I will accept either response on this one. I'm not so sure myself. Get your predictions in Derby, draw, or Barnsley. As you can imagine, down at the bottom here, let me cover up the scoreline that I've got predicted. Lots and lots of red down at the bottom there. So both sides in the bottom 6 in the XG difference. Here's an interesting one. Derby 11th best home team. Barnsley 23rd best away team. Don't know. Is that key? And then Derby have a decent defence. Everything else is null to write home about. I do think you do have to remember with Derby, where would they be? I think they'd be like 16th or something, wouldn't they, without the 21 points? Yeah. So they're literally, in terms of on pitch, not a bottom three side. I think that gets forgotten when we look at the table. And then there's Barnsley's current form. Who knows? Derby, draw, or Barnsley? Let's have a look. See what you guys are saying. Where are we going to start? Here, Cole. Derby, draw. Derby, Barnsley, Derby, Barnsley. Get that 0-0 out. Barnsley. I think this is season-defining game. Barnsley 1-0. Woof. Barnsley, Derby, draw, Derby. Hopefully one of them keeping our championship seat warm. 7 wins in 8, isn't it, Nat? Something for Wednesday at the moment. Woof. I think Derby have gone now. Derby, Barnsley. Derby games always low, especially those home games. Yes, indeed. There we go. We'll click on as many of those. Barnsley home to Reading, April the 2nd. You love to see that, don't you? Woof. Having said all of that, I'm going to go with the big... I actually think Derby are going to win this game. I'm going to go with the big picture, the big home crowd, the general seasonal form, Lawrence being back, etc. Barnsley away form. Again, I've said you can make a reasonable argument either way. I'm going to go with Derby home. Home win for Derby. It can only be 1-0 if it's Derby at home, can't it? They don't score any more than that. And I think Chris was saying in the chat the other day, Derby games, look out for the first goal. That normally tells us what's about to happen. I bet this is going to be 5-1 as well, isn't it? Let's have a look. 5-1. There you go. 5-1 for a 1-0 home win in the championship. Woof. Right, we're going to round everything up. Then we'll do some Q&A. Get your questions in, get your topics in, and we will go for 5-10 minutes on some Q&A. Let me say a big thank you for all the likes. We've got 88 likes. Please hit that button. You can just get us over 100. It really helps the channel grow and more people see the video. Now, what you do need to do if you want to get involved, and I know a lot of you do, head over to Football 365 and you need to lock in your predictions. Just hit submit there and you'll see mine. I have got Huddersfield, Fulham, Derby, Millwall, QPR, Sheffield United, West Brom and Blackpool all winning this weekend, with Borough and Luton, Swansea and Coventry, Preston and Bournemouth, Bristol City and Birmingham all drawing. It looks so sensible, doesn't it? So sensible when you look at it on the page there. You think, well, that's definitely going to happen. But it's very, 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 very hard, isn't it, indeed? Any questions, any topics, we'll do a little bit of a Q&A. If anybody wants to ask me any questions, we will get them read out right now. Not entirely sure tonight whether we'll be doing watch along or whether I'll have time to do a pre-record video. So do look out for that. In the meantime, get me any questions in. Keep those likes coming. We're up to 93. Not seeing any questions coming in, guys. Any topics you want discussed, we can get involved with imminently. Has the chat broken? Come on, guys. Get the questions in. Get the topics in. And we'll do a little bit of Q&A to finish up the predictions video. There we go. Well done, JC. You've saved me from the ignominy of no questions coming in there. Will Birmingham ever finish outside of 16th to 20th place? They seem to have a gravitational pull towards 18th. I can understand why it would feel that way. Of course, they will one day. It's not going to happen this season, though, is it, JC? I think you're right, plumb in looking at that sort of 18th place spot, aren't you? So maybe next year, but that's always the case, isn't it? Dale, do I think Luton can hold on to 6th? Oh, dear. You stitched me up there, Dale, because I've got so many Luton friends living here. And when I go and walk the dog, get asked. In theory, they shouldn't be able to, should they? Because there are other better resource teams than Luton. And that does, sadly, boringly, normally win out. I would love to see them do it. I really, really would. That would be a great fillip for all those teams coming up from League One. And, you know, Luton signed cleverly. Honestly, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Luton to not get in the playoffs and just keep building things up gradually. We know in football, a very quick rise is often followed by a very quick fall. And Luton are rising very, very quickly. And there is something to be said for stabilising, transferring players in and out and building up the revenues, building up the turnover as you go. But, of course, be great to see them in there in a playoff game at the Kennys. But will this be the peak for Luton? Will 6th place at 33 games be the peak? I don't know. Would be a hell of an achievement if they did get in there, wouldn't they? Kel, are late goals a sign of a good team or pure luck? Isolated late goals are normally luck. Repeated late goals is definitely the sign of a good team. I think with late goals, Kelboy, always have a look at the goal. Use your eye test. Look, we all understand that you can just boot the ball into the box late on, send everybody up, and it is a bit lucky, isn't it? We get that. But, and I learned this doing the Championship, watching Norwich in 18-19, when you actually analyse what they were doing, incredibly attacking substitutions, having loads of possession, loads of shots. It's not luck most of the time. Look for repetition. Mark, Bournemouth, tough game against Preston, then 3 home games. Ooh, that looks a nice little run, doesn't it? Hey, what do I think of Roman Abramovich's sale of Chelsea? Terence, I don't want to. I get accused of avoiding hot button issues sometimes, but it's very difficult for me to comment on a lot of stuff when I don't actually really understand the reasoning why and exactly what's happening. It's very fascinating, and it's an elite club up for sale. What interests me more about Abramovich selling Chelsea is who comes in, and can they have anywhere near the success that he's had? I wonder, is this good news for Manchester United and Tottenham and Arsenal and those clubs challenging at the top of the table? Who has been your surprise team this season, good or bad? I mean, look, Barnsley is a big surprise, isn't it? We didn't expect them to drop from 5th to pointing towards being one of the worst Championship teams ever. Huddersfield, I guess, must be the biggest surprise, mustn't they? They're 3rd, for goodness sake. So, Huddersfield, I would have to go with. I know we joked earlier, would there be any point West Brom sticking with Bruce? Yes, I look, if you're going to put a manager in to a club that has won 1 out of 8 games, the least you can do is give him the chance to do 8 games. And if he does worse than that, then... But no, I don't always believe that all managers always need more time. I don't believe that. Sometimes if you've got the wrong guy in, get him out. You know, if it's not working, be brave, get him out. But in terms of West Brom, I do think they'll pick up, and then I think in autumn we'll know whether he's going to do a good or a bad job there. But no, I can understand the frustration of West Brom fans and how poorly they're doing this season. Matt, what do you think Blackpool will aim for next season? Well, a boring answer is Blackpool have got to start to trade like a Championship club and build revenues. They've got to not be scared to sell any of their good players. And we're talking about Bowler, basically, aren't they? Doesn't matter if Blackpool sell Bowler. It really doesn't. If they can have if it can be I don't know what Blackpool's club record sale is, probably quite high because they've been up in the Premier League, haven't they? But look, if they can sell him for over £5 million and build the turnover, build the revenues, etc., that's what they've got to do off the pitch. On the pitch, look, I say this about all teams that come up from League One. Blackpool are 14th. If they're anywhere near halfway, that's a good job. Well done when you consider what you're up against financially in the Championship. Who does Mike Ashley support? I've got no idea. Does anyone know the answer to that? He's a Londoner, isn't he? Ashley? Who knows? Simon, do you think the fit and proper test for football team ownership need a total overhaul? I don't know what they are, so we can make a judgment on whether they work or not. Obviously, with perhaps the Wigan example and the Bury example, they haven't particularly worked. Whether they need a total overhaul or not, I couldn't comment because I don't know exactly what they are. But no, I don't want to be one of these guys that sits here and say that the fit and proper persons test is not fit for purpose when I don't actually know what it is in terms of the actual pure detail. Are there examples of it not working? Yes. So it could probably do with some improvement, but I can't say it needs an overhaul unless I read it, and I probably wouldn't understand it anyway, would I? Tom, opinion on Steve Morrison permanent appointment? Yes, I like it a lot. I was always a champion of Steve Morrison when he was a player. You could tell he was going to be a coach. I didn't think it would come quite so quickly, but yes, good luck to him. Well, that's a good question. Where will Bielsa turn up next, do you think? Morrison's in Wetherby, is it? We normally find him. I don't know. Not in England, though. I don't think he'll manage another team in England. Quick rise, quick fall, Barnsley. Look, you can list 50 teams where quick rise, quick fall. Luton's finances for last year, only a 2 million loss. Well, when you factor in COVID as well, outstanding. What will the Borough v Luton score be, Alistair? If only we'd just done 45 minutes of prediction, you can spool back and find out that. Which championship club is the best run club? Oh, you're so comparing apples and oranges, aren't you, there? Which someone's just mentioned Luton, where the whole thing with Luton is build very gradually with revenues like this. And then, I mean, you can argue the best run championship club is Fulham at the moment. But they've got a nice parachute payment and they've got, they're in a position where they've got way better players. They spend a load more money than everybody else. But if they win and do you know what I mean? It's apples and oranges, isn't it? I think when people talk about well-run clubs, what they're normally asking is which club that doesn't have very much money is doing the best job. That would be Luton, wouldn't it? Obviously, Huddersfield need a mention, but they have had Premier League years recently, haven't they? We are coming up 57 minutes. Mike Ashley supports his bank account. Most of us do, don't we? James, it's very tight and 6 to 8 teams can still make it. If you had to take a punt now, who do you fancy to go up via the playoffs? Oh, God. To go up, to actually win them. Oh, crikey. A team that wears red, possibly. I don't know. You got some experienced, wealthy teams there, and you got some new boys that haven't been in there ever, or recently, certainly. What else have we got? Combined worth of Chair, Dickey, Dieng and Willock. Lots. 10 million a piece on average? No, it won't be that much, will it? I think they need to all have more than one good season at championship level, don't they? But look, they play for London clubs as well. So, yes, lots and lots and lots of money indeed. Right. Worth, thank you, everybody, for watching today. Hit like. We're on 98, are we? Come on. Let's see if we can do this before we go. 99 likes. Hit the like button. I'm literally going to stay here until we get to 100. Come on. Come on. You can do it. 99 likes at the moment on the stream. I'm definitely going to be back tomorrow for the Saturday Super stream at 2:30. Yes! 102 likes. Outstanding stuff, you lot. Thank you ever so much. So come and join us at 2:30. And hopefully there'll be some time for a pre-record. There's just not enough hours in the day. If you say nice things, I'll click them up in the advert afterwards. A lot of people say thank you. I will see you all very, very soon. Definitely for the Super stream tomorrow. Might be a pre-record tonight, but we'll see how I feel after this. I'm a bit knackered already, put it that way. Right, thank you, everybody, for watching. That has been our championship preview and predictions. Thank you for all the input. Thank you for all the likes, and it's lovely over and out from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.